everyone, thank you so much for joining me. So I'm just going to quickly explain what these images are and then we're going to get down to creating an art journal page using them. So these are my week 11 mixed media challenge images. I give them free over on my Facebook group. You're more than welcome to come along and join. The link is in the description box below. This is week 11, so there's another previous 10 weeks and 10 sets of pages for you to download. There's also a video on every single week. I'll leave the link to the playlist in the description box below. If you're new, you could maybe go and binge watch them and catch up. So we're just art journaling. And art journaling, it can be anything. It doesn't matter what your skill level is. It doesn't matter what supplies you've got. I've given you the basic supplies. So you could make an art journal page with just these images and a glue stick and a pair of scissors. You wouldn't need anything else. You can still create. If you're a bit more confident and you've got a few more supplies, you might want to add some mixed media, but it's not essential. Okay, so we've got a lovely collage background here. You can use it as is or rip it up. Just use bits of it. Then we've got our focal images. And as you can see, the prompt or theme this week is ballet. So we've got some beautiful dancers, some ephemera, some decorative elements and some words. So you can use them however you like. I've just printed mine on 120 GSM copier paper and I'm just going to get creating. So you can either follow along and copy mine exactly, or you can get some inspiration and go with your own layout. But it's all about just having some fun with minimal supplies and seeing what you can come up with. There's no right or wrong. There's no such thing as a bad page. They're all different and they're all valid in their own way. So I better get these cut and let's get creating. And we're off. So as always, I am interviewing my pieces, planning my layout, because that then helps me think in my little pea brain head what I'm going to do with the background, because obviously I want the background to complement the images, but you have to do the background first. So I'm selecting some music paper that one of my lovely crafty friends sent me, thank you, and the collage sheet, and I've got it in my head that I want the collage to be just in strips, long strips, straight across the middle of the two journal pages, rather than all over, which I frequently do. So I'm setting about ripping them, trying to make them wavy and interesting rather than just in a boring straight line. And you will see through this video that there's lots of layering going on, not just of paper as such, but layering of colours. And it's very much a long process. I spent about an hour and a half doing this journal page. I could have spent longer, but I've got stuff to do. So I'm just thinking which way around I want them. Do I want the music on the top or the collage on the top? And so I'm laying them down and I'm having a think. And then when I make my mind up, I do start and layer them down. I have gessoed both pages beforehand with just normal gesso. And I'm using my new golden matte medium. And it is brilliant. It is a lot wetter than my other one. So I think if you're going to collage down lightweight papers, then the normal matte medium is good. If you don't want a lot of wetness and your paper that you're using is more heavy, then you go for a gel matte medium. Okay, I believe that's the right process after doing some research. So I thought I'd share that with you. So I'm just going to add some bits of the music page, top and bottom. I'm quite a symmetrical crafter. Whatever I do to one side, I tend to do to the other. And that kind of does help you with balance. If you're not very good, whatever you do to one corner, replicate it on the other corner. And focus on two opposite corners, with your decoration to bring the eye in. So this is quite a journey for me, and you will see that my page turns out a lot more adventurous. So I'm taking some chances with this. I'm trying some new kind of techniques, and I am using some products that I've been collecting. And there's various stages in this process where you can copy it and then stop. For example, if all you've got is scissors and glue, you could do the layout that I've done here with the strips of paper and then stop, and that page would look lovely. But I'm adding to it. I've stamped on some tissue paper with music stamp, and so I'm adding that for extra layers. and that will just peek through. So I'm constantly adding layers, and that's what mixed media is really all about. Same with collage, it's all about building up layers to add interest. You know, you might not see everything, but things will peek out, so not everything will get covered up. So here I'm adding my matte medium to my dancing lady. She's absolutely beautiful, very, very graceful, and she's got some very pretty colours. It's kind of soft, but she's almost got some gold colour in there, bold colour in there as well. And I'm constantly striving to try and make this piece both soft and bold at the same time. And I think I kind of pulled it off in the end. I was getting very frustrated, you will see shortly, because the colours I was using, I was being too safe and too reserved and too self-conscious. And in the end, I end up going completely bonkers and adding bold colour and just thinking, it's just a page, it doesn't matter. So this page is very much about learning for me. I've done a lot of learning on this page, as well as my everyday things. And you've just got to, I remember watching one of the fantastic artists that I watch, and she said that you've got to not think about the finished page. And the idea you have in your head is not necessarily going to be what happens. And you mustn't get frustrated if it's not turning out how you want it. You've almost got to let the process lead you. So that's what I do on this page. You know, I'm not trying to control it. I'm just going to go with it, which is why you will see there will be lots of layers of colour, because I start off very soft and then I try and make it more bold. So that's my basic layout. So if all you were doing is collaging, that would be fine. You could totally stop there, but it's never enough. I've always got to go overboard. So what I'm doing here is I'm just gently sponging with a makeup sponge and some gesso around those digital images. I'm just trying to soften the edges so it doesn't just completely look like I've plonked a digital picture on the page. And it does work. You've just got to trust the process with the finished result. Like I say, you've not got to think ahead to what your page is going to look like at the end. You've just got to keep going until you come up with a look that you like. And you'll know when you've done, because you'll be happy. Okay, and until you think, yeah, I'm happy with that page, keep going, keep making adjustments. So here I'm just toning down some of those images that, you know, the book page, etc., and even the music stamp, because I don't want them to take over. I want them very much to be a background. The focus is my dancing lady, and it's going to be the colours and the other things that I add to the page as well. So we're toning it down with, and I did use a wet sponge as well, so it's just so you can see my little plate there. I've got a what they call portrait tone, which is like a kind of like creamy pinky tone, creamy pinky yellowy beigey. And I'm mixing that with a little bit of gesso and adding that as well, so that when I'm sponging around those images, it's not just stark white. I've got a bit of white, and then I've got a little bit of that, I think it's called portrait pink or portrait porcelain or something, I don't know. And I'm just painting it gently around all of the images and then smudging it with my finger in an attempt to try and blend those in. And it does work. You might not be able to see it in the screen, but I can see from the finished result that does work. Then I had a little tiny bit of pink on my page there. I don't know where it came from, so I gessoed over it. Then I'm adding some modelling paste with one of my new stencils from beginners.Art. If you've not seen my video on my stencil haul, go and have a look. I've got some amazing stuff. And I'm just adding it here and there, just for a little bit of texture. And at one point, I can't remember which point it is, I did it and it all smudged and it went wrong. I think it's this bit here. So because my book is spiral bound, them rings were getting in the way, and I wasn't happy with it. So I scraped it off, wiped it with a cloth, and started again. You know, you cannot absolutely do that with modelling paste. And I think I scraped it back into the tub and reused it as well. So now I'm using my watercolour markers to start off with soft tones. So I start with soft tones, and then I will end up building up to a more brighter tone. And I like using the watercolour markers because I'm still not 100% confident with watercolour paints or acrylic paints. And the markers, you've got, because it's like obviously a pen that you're holding in your hand, you've got more control over where it's going. So you can literally scribble where you want it and then add water. Now, that blue's too bright. Do I give up? Do I think, oh, my page is ruined? No, I keep going. And, you know, I added more water and I've got some kitchen roll and I'm dabbing some of it off. But that, you know, that bright blue actually works in the end. So you've got to just go with it. So I'm adding some more pink in the hope it'll tone that blue down. But the brightness of that blue works at the end. So like I say, just keep going. Okay, so I'm using the watercolour markers and then just a brush full of water to blend it and make it run. Just the same as you would with watercolour paints. But like I say, I just feel like I've got more control with those. And I think I'm going to be looking for a good brand of those. Because these are just Stampin' Up ones. They're not the most vibrant of colour. So here I'm starting with some neo colours. Trying my best to inject some pop of colour and be a little bit braver with my page. Because as it is now, yeah, it's nice. It's alright. But it's a little bit boring. So you can see I'm getting braver. I've added quite a bright colour there. I'm still dabbing it and toning it down because I'm frightened of the bright colours. And it's okay to do that because as you do your page and you think, oh, well, that actually didn't turn out too bad. On my next page, I'll be even more confident and I might even add some more brighter colours. And I love the way that bright pink has run down and collected in the lady's dress and down her arms and stuff and given me kind of like a shade there. It looks really pretty. Still dabbing it off because I'm still frightened of the bright colour. So it doesn't matter whether you're brand new, whether you know what you're doing. You've got to trust your intuition and be a bit brave. It's only paper, so you can see me there. I'm thinking, oh, stuff it. I'm going to be brave. But I'm still adding loads of water so that it's not really, really bright. And I'm ending up with a lovely pink and blue and multicolour tone. It's almost like a unicorn or, a unicorn effect. It turns out really lovely. So now I'm thinking a better plan before I put anything else on where my words are going. And I decide that I'm not even putting a word to do with dance on here. I've put take more chances. And that's because that's what I'm trying to do with this page. And I'm going to go even further in a minute, as you will see, with my new stencils. And this is a really brave move for me. But I absolutely love how it turned out. I had to work it a bit to make it so that it didn't look silly, but it totally works. And I'm using my archival inks here and some of my new stencils with the painty effects. And I'm being really brave because I'm really frightened at this point that it's going to wreck my page. And I don't want to start again, chiefly because on the other side of the left-hand page is another journal spread, so I can't rip that page out and do it again. I could just gesso over the whole thing and think stuff it, but I want to grow in confidence and I want to trust that my instincts of what I'm doing is right, okay? And sometimes you just need to work at what you're doing. I'm just putting a little piece of scrap under there because I don't want to end up with an inky mark, from the edge of the stencil. So there's a tip. And then I end up completely missing half of it. So I have to go back and do it again. And I'm like, no! But it worked. Cheap home makeup sponges, they're incredibly hard to find at the moment. But I managed to find them in Body Care if you're in the UK, cheapo Body Care. And I'm adding these like chevrons, and you might be thinking, oh Amanda, I'm not sure about that. But trust the process, it works. It totally works. And here I'm going even more bold, and I'm stenciling these blobs. But, but they end up fitting in with the tone with what I do after, because remember, it's about layering. This is not the final piece. I'm going to be adding other things on top of those. And it all just ends up blending together. And I love the sharpness of those black marks against the softness of the ballerina and those unicorn colours that I've managed to achieve. I'm absolutely loving it. So take more chances. I challenge you to take more chances and be braver in your pages. Okay, I'm just putting some medium over that in case whatever else I do.
is a big mistake, and then I can get it off. So even when you've inked, done an inky layer, I've left this drying bit in, even when you've just inked, you must dry it. That's an archival ink, but it needs to be dried. So sorry my head's in the shot here, but I'm getting really close into my work with a white Uniball pen. Can't think of the name of it, but it's the popular one. It's like a gel pen, it's not a Posca pen. It's brilliant, but you can only do it when the ink's dry. And I'm adding some white patterns to those black blobs, stenciling that I've done, and that tones them down and brings it in with the rest of the image. So on the chevrons, I'm just adding white lines to one side of the chevron or arrows, and then on the other one, I'm doing it to the opposite side, and it looks really cool. I'm really pleased with it. So I'm glad I was brave with this page, you know, because I think it turned out great, and I learned a lot. I learned that, you know, if I stencil some black and it looks a bit harsh, I can add some white gel pen over it and tone it down a little bit. So it's all a learning curve, and it's kind of a mixture of styles there. You've got a little bit of doodling, you've got some, you know, digitals, you've got some mixed media. Here I'm using my new favourite toy, which is my graphite pencil, to re-outline those strips of paper, because I want it to show that I've got strips of paper, and it adds a bit of contrast and depth, or whatever the artsy terms are. I'm not an artist, I just like playing, and I love encouraging other people to have a go. So I don't know all of the correct terms for everything. I don't always know what I'm doing with my things, but from practicing week on week with the pages, you know, I feel like I'm starting to know what my products do, and I'm starting to know how it looks nice, and I know how to do my shading and get that depth now. So here I've gone really brave and just done graphite pencil marks around there. I do end up going back in and smudging them with the paper stump, and I'm edging my page here with a pastel, a black pastel, and then I'm going to smudge it just ever so slightly. Just be careful if you use pastels, because, you know, it gets on your finger and it goes everywhere. You'll be going out to the supermarket with black smudges on your face and not realising. Then I'm using some more pastels that I managed to get a pack that were in soft tones, and so I'm adding some more softness and some more colour back in with the light blue and a light pink pastel, and it's a different texture. So yeah, and it layers lovely because I've used my matte medium. You can see these because they sit nicely over the top, and that's about it.
So there we go, there's my page. I quite like it, and obviously this is exactly what I've been doing, taking more chances, trying different things, trying different products, different techniques. I'm loving the art stenciling on top of a soft kind of dreamy vintage look. So these are quite hard and the background's soft, and I just really like it. I think it's really pretty. I think we've managed to get a watercolour effect. It took me a while, but what you do is you just keep going until you like the look of your page. Okay, sometimes it can take time. Sometimes, you know, I can do a page in 10 minutes. Other times, you know, I've got to, you're doing layers and layers and layers and letting it dry and doing layers and changing a bit till you're happy with it. The only thing I'm not completely happy with is the outlining on there, because that was me taking more chances, being spontaneous, and I really should have used a ruler because I'm not mentally at that stage yet. I could smudge it, but I feel like it's going to make it look, the background, a bit too dirty for me. So don't know. I think I might just leave it like that, and I might add some actual pen marks on top of it. We'll see, but I really like it. I especially like this page. Really, really like all of the layers on there. So I hope you like it. I'm absolutely filthy. My craft room's trash, but there's another page. Thanks for watching. Take care, and I will see you very soon. Bye for now.